I think that Ryan Reynolds, Kate thinks Kate thinks he's super frenemy with me, or even just that he hates me.
Ryan Reynolds, the charming and witty superstar we all love, isn't always the favorite in Hollywood. In fact, there are a surprising number of A-list celebrities who have thrown shade his way. From snarky comments to all-out public diss tracks, it seems that Reynolds' playful persona has rubbed a few of his peers the wrong way. But who are these bold stars that dared to take a jab at Deadpool himself? You might think they're all fans of his humor, but the truth might shock you. From rivalries on the set to long-standing feuds that have played out in the public eye, these 10 celebrities have made it clear they're not exactly Reynolds' biggest fans. Trust us, you won't believe who made the list, and the reasons behind these unexpected beefs are jaw-dropping. Stay tuned as we dive into the drama, revealing 10 celebs who definitely aren't sending Ryan Reynolds any love. Billy Sharp. A few years ago, the idea of a Hollywood star like Ryan Reynolds clashing with a professional soccer player from a second-tier English club seemed almost impossible. But when Reynolds and fellow actor Rob McElhenney purchased Wrexham AFC, it became clear that the boundaries between celebrity culture and the world of football could be a bit more blurred than expected. One of the most surprising moments in this new chapter came in 2023, when Wrexham found themselves on the receiving end of Billy Sharp's frustration. After Sheffield United knocked Wrexham out of the FA Cup with a convincing 3-1 win, Sharp didn't hold back in his post-match interview. The striker accused Wrexham's players of arrogance, suggesting that their confidence had rubbed Sheffield United the wrong way before the game even began. But the beef didn't end there. Sharp was rumored to have gotten into a physical confrontation with both Wrexham players and some of their traveling fans. Ryan Reynolds, however, didn't seem fazed by Sharp's remarks. In fact, he found it somewhat amusing. Speaking in the Welcome to Wrexham documentary, Reynolds expressed how wonderful it was to see that they had gotten under Sharp's skin. Rob McElhenney's follow-up comment only fueled the fire further, joking that they were now living rent-free in that mother-fu asterisk king brain. Clearly, the A-listers weren't backing down or taking the criticism personally. Instead, they embraced the rivalry with a smile. Shania Twain. Ryan Reynolds probably didn't expect to become the subject of a cheeky public diss from one of country music's biggest stars, Shania Twain, at the 2022 People's Choice Awards. The actor was there to accept the Icon Award, but it was Twain's performance that really stole the spotlight. As she sang her iconic hit, "That Don't Impress Me Much," she switched up the lyrics and sang, "Okay, so you're Ryan Reynolds, that doesn't impress me much." The reason behind Twain's playful jab remains unclear, but one thing's for sure, she was unapologetically throwing some shade his way. After the performance, she doubled down on the moment, tweeting at Reynolds, "Sorry, not sorry." It was a bold move, but Reynolds took it in stride, handling the roast with his signature humor and charm. At the ceremony, the actor was seen laughing heartily at the surprise lyric change, clearly enjoying the lighthearted moment. True to form, Reynolds took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to respond with a playful tweet of his own saying, "I can't think of a more iconic, smart, and beautiful person to not impress all that much." Clearly, he was far from offended. In fact, he seemed to embrace the opportunity for some good-natured fun with the legendary singer. While Shania Twain's comment may not have left the biggest impression on Reynolds, it definitely left an unforgettable moment in the spotlight. Matthew Perry. In 2022, reports emerged suggesting that Matthew Perry, the late actor best known for playing Chandler Bing on Friends, may have held a grudge against Ryan Reynolds. While Perry's memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, notably included a bizarre wish of death for Keanu Reeves, it also hinted at some tension with Reynolds, albeit in a more subtle way. According to an anonymous source speaking to Radar Online, Perry believed that Ryan Reynolds owed much of his career to him, specifically to Reynolds' role in Two Guys, A Girl in a Pizza Place. Perry was reportedly upset by what he saw as Reynolds stealing his character and comedic delivery from the 90s sitcom. The source went on to suggest that two guys, a girl and a pizza place, essentially served as a blueprint for Reynolds' entire style and voice, which he would later carry into his career as an actor, writer, and producer. Perhaps the most frustrating part for Perry, however, was that Reynolds never acknowledged where he thought the influence came from. The source claimed that Perry was irritated by the fact that Reynolds never gave him even a small nod of credit for his role in shaping the comedic style that propelled Reynolds' career. According to The Insider, Perry felt that a simple mention or acknowledgement would have been enough to ease the tension. While it's hard to know just how serious this grudge was or whether it affected their personal relationship, it's clear that Perry felt overlooked and unappreciated by the actor who would go on to become a global superstar. Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino, a filmmaker known for his unconventional casting choices, made a bold statement at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival that seems to distance him from one of Hollywood's biggest stars, Ryan Reynolds. Tarantino, who has made a career out of bringing iconic names like John Travolta, Daryl Hannah, and Kurt Russell to the big screen, expressed skepticism about the cultural relevance of certain big-budget streaming movies, particularly those starring Reynolds. While speaking to Deadline about the growing trend of movies bypassing theatrical releases in favor of streaming, Tarantino singled out Reynolds' Netflix projects, including The Adam Project and Red Notice. He remarked, "Apparently for Netflix, Ryan Reynolds has made $50 million on this movie, and $50 million on that movie, and $50 million on the next movie for them. I don't know what any of those movies are. I've never seen them. Have you?" The comment highlighted Tarantino's frustration with the proliferation of high-paying but seemingly forgettable content in the streaming age. Tarantino, known for his meticulous attention to the cultural impact of his films, went on to reflect on the existential nature of these projects. "Those movies don't exist in the zeitgeist," he mused. "It's almost like they don't even exist." While not necessarily targeting Reynolds himself, Tarantino's remarks painted a picture of films that, despite their massive budgets and star power, fail to make a lasting mark on pop culture. To Tarantino, these movies might make money, but they lack the kind of cultural significance and conversation that his own works have sparked over the years. For a director who's always prioritized the cultural relevance of his films, this sentiment clearly set Reynolds' Netflix ventures apart from his own cinematic ideals. T.J. Miller. T.J. Miller stirred up quite a storm in 2022 when he claimed that Ryan Reynolds was horrifically mean to him on the set of Deadpool. The comedian and actor, best known for his role as Weasel in the Deadpool films, shared his experience during a guest appearance on The Adam Carolla Show. Miller recounted a particular incident where Reynolds allegedly singled him out during a scene, stating, "You know what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star, but you do just enough exposition that it's funny, and then we can leave and get back to the real movie." Miller claimed that Reynolds delivered this line as if I'm Weasel, and that the entire crew was left in an awkward silence, unsure of how to react. He described the moment as unpleasant, saying it was not a great experience for him. Following these remarks, Miller made it clear that he wouldn't return for Deadpool 3, even if he was offered a significantly higher salary. His comments raised eyebrows, given the friendly rapport that Reynolds typically projects in public. However, the situation took a turn when Reynolds personally reached out to Miller the day after the podcast episode aired. In an email, Reynolds explained that the exchange had been a misunderstanding. Miller later shared this reconciliation on SiriusXM's Jim Norton and Sam Roberts, saying it was very cool of Reynolds to reach out and clarify the situation. Miller emphasized that he wasn't upset, and they quickly hashed it out. This moment of mutual understanding seemed to resolve the tension, showing that while things might have gotten heated on set, the two actors were able to clear the air and move on from the incident. Hugh Jackman. In 2018, Hugh Jackman sparked a playful feud with Ryan Reynolds in a video shared on X, formerly Twitter. where he humorously claimed that Reynolds owed his entire career to him. In a tongue-in-cheek message, the Australian actor began, "Ryan Reynolds may seem like an honest, hard-working movie star, husband and father, but don't let the facts get in the way of the truth." Jackman continued by suggesting that he had hand-selected Reynolds to appear in X-Men Origins Wolverine back in 2009, implying that Reynolds' career took off thanks to that movie. He cheekily added, "He was only named People's Sexiest Man Alive in 2010, the year after he met Hugh. Coincidence? Please." Jackman's playful remarks didn't stop there. He encouraged fans to watch the PG-13 version of Deadpool in hopes of preventing Reynolds from making another flop like Green Lantern or Van Wilder. While his words might have sounded like a dig, Jackman's tone made it clear this was all part of the ongoing friendly banter between the two actors. This wasn't Jackman actually delivering a harsh criticism. It was all in the name of fun. Since 2015, Jackman and Reynolds have maintained a public faux beef, trolling each other with playful jabs about their respective careers. They've made it a running joke, regularly engaging in pranks, unflattering impressions, and humorous digs at each other's movies, all while being firm friends off-screen. What may appear as a rivalry is actually a display of deep mutual respect, with both actors enjoying the entertainment their banter provides to their fans. Jake Gyllenhaal. In 2019, Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal sparked a playful online feud to celebrate Best Friends Day by each posing with their mutual friend Hugh Jackman, leaving fans to wonder if the two were still as close as they seemed. The amusing rivalry became a light-hearted joke, but rumors began circulating that their bond had soured over the years. According to OK magazine, their relationship reportedly cooled down within 2 years. Allegedly, the cause of their fallout was a growing competition for similar roles in Hollywood. An insider claimed that as both stars rose in fame, they began realizing that there were only so many roles to go around, leading to a shift in their dynamic. Ryan and Jake realized that in Hollywood there are only so many seats at the table, the source said, hinting that their competitive spirits might have driven a wedge between them. However, Gyllenhaal had previously downplayed any notion of rivalry between them. In an interview with The One Show, he explained that he and Reynolds never saw each other as competitors, saying, "It's rare in our industry to meet someone, a contemporary, and there's no competition. There are just some friends you meet at a certain time in your life." Despite this, another source told Radar Online that the situation had changed over time, suggesting that Reynolds had been a mentor to Gyllenhaal early in their friendship. But eventually, it was said to be Gyllenhaal who distanced himself to establish his own identity in Hollywood. Whether the two actors' relationship has truly deteriorated, or if this is just another chapter in their playful banter, remains unclear, but the rumors certainly suggest that something shifted behind the scenes. Andy Holt. In 2023, Andy Holt, the chairman of League Two team Accrington Stanley, didn't hold back when expressing his frustration with Ryan Reynolds' approach to business. It all began when Wrexham AFC, co-owned by Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, played a home game against Accrington. Wrexham, who had gained a massive global following due to the Welcome to Wrexham documentary, made headlines by reducing ticket prices after Accrington charged an additional £5, $7, for the first encounter between the two teams. Accrington's decision to charge more sparked backlash, and Holt made his discontent known after his team's 2-0 victory over Wrexham. Taking to X, formerly Twitter, Holt tweeted, "I think Reynolds should cut prices by a tenner. Safe journey home, folks. Get that on Netflix, Ryan lad." The dig at Reynolds' business decisions continued as Holt criticized the timing of Wrexham's move, calling it a stupid, mistimed statement. He added that it was especially surprising considering the high-level football management experience at Wrexham, pointing out that a former CEO of the English Football League, EFL, was part of their team. Holt's comments went beyond the ticket prices, as he implied that Reynolds and his co-owner McElhenney, with their Hollywood backgrounds, might not fully grasp the realities of running a soccer club, especially when it came to managing fans' financial challenges. While Wrexham's intentions were clearly aimed at making things more affordable for their fans, Holt clearly felt it missed the mark and expressed his disappointment in a very public way. Chris Columbus. In 2018, Ryan Reynolds announced that he would be starring in and producing Stoned Alone, a marijuana-infused reboot of the beloved holiday classic Home Alone. The film was set to follow a 20-something stoner who, after missing his flight to a ski trip, ends up defending his home from burglars. The concept was met with widespread criticism, with many fans feeling that Reynolds was tarnishing their childhood memories of the original film. Unsurprisingly, the film's director, Chris Columbus, who helmed the 1990 classic, was not thrilled by the idea either. In an interview with The Independent, Columbus expressed his disdain for the project, calling it an insult to the art of cinema. He explained that when making any film, whether it be a comedy, a musical, or otherwise, the goal should be to treat it with the utmost respect, similar to how one would approach a masterpiece like The Godfather. While he acknowledged that Home Alone wasn't The Godfather, Columbus insisted that the same level of care and consideration should be applied. He criticized the growing trend of remaking existing films, especially when the originals were already successful. "Watch the original, forget about it. It's just never going to be as good," he argued. Luckily for Columbus and fans of the original Home Alone, Stoned Alone appears to have gotten stuck in development hell, and the project has not progressed. While Reynolds has made his mark on comedy and reboots in the past, this particular project clearly hit a nerve with the filmmaker who had carefully crafted one of the most iconic family comedies of all time, Tim Miller. Tim Miller's departure from Deadpool 2 was largely attributed to creative differences with Ryan Reynolds, shedding light on the tension that arose during the making of the first film. While Deadpool 2016 was a massive success, largely due to its R-rated gritty style and Reynolds' dedicated performance, there were differing opinions on the direction of the sequel. Reports indicated that Reynolds, who had become very invested in the character of Deadpool, wanted to maintain the dark, irreverent tone of the first movie. Meanwhile, Miller, who had directed the original, felt that Deadpool 2 should have a bigger, more flashy approach, resembling the action-packed style of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The tension between Reynolds' desire to remain hands-on and Miller's vision for a more polished blockbuster film came to a head. Miller later admitted in an interview on KCRW, "It became clear that Ryan wanted to be in control of the franchise. You can work that way as a director quite successfully, but I can't." However, in a different interview, Miller pushed back against the idea that he was trying to change the essence of Deadpool for the sequel. On CC Garage, he clarified, "I didn't want to make some stylized movie that was 3 times the budget. I wanted to make the same kind of movie that we made before because I think that's the right movie to make for the character." Miller expressed that he wanted to stay true to the character and the spirit of the first film, insisting that the media exaggerated the conflict. Ultimately, the differences between the two led to Miller stepping away from the sequel, and Deadpool 2 was directed by David Leitch. Despite the behind-the-scenes drama, the film was still a critical and commercial success. And there you have it, 10 Celebs who've thrown shade at Jan Reynolds over the years. Whether it was playful jabs, creative differences, or genuine criticism, it's clear that Ryan is no stranger to a little celebrity drama. But hey, even with all these diss moments, he's still one of Hollywood's most beloved stars, known for his humor and quick wit. Let us know in the comments which diss surprised you the most, and if you think Ryan's handled it like a champ, or if he should have fired back. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more juicy celebrity stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.